Now the next topic that I want to talk about in this section is qualitative research using Claude. One thing to keep in mind, unlike the other large language models such as Gemini, ChatGPT or Perplexity, Claude does not have access to the internet. So any information you want to work with, you'll have to copy paste it into the model. Second, it has a much longer context window, especially if you're a pro. So you will be able to punch in a lot of text, even up to books, if you're using Bard for your research. So the first example that I want to do is of an academic paper where I want to summarize the research paper in a half-page summary template for academic research papers. And I have a specific template in mind that I wanted to follow. So all I need to do is, first, I will take this paper, which is the Bitcoin white paper. It's not that long. It's about 9 pages, but it contains a lot of terminologies and chunk that might not be easily understandable by someone who has no idea how Bitcoin works. So if I copy the paper and I will open a new chart in Bard, I will paste the paper and see, even if I paste it, it adds it as an extra line and it says there are 408 lines that I've provided it. And then I will summarize this prompt template that I have created here, which essentially talks about how to summarize a research paper in a very small condensed way. So first it will talk about the proper identification of the paper, research objectives, methodology, key findings, contributions and conclusions. Everything that I have here in the Notion page will be available to you through a link. So don't worry, you don't need to copy paste anything. So now it goes on and writes me the paper exactly the way, summarizes the paper exactly the way I was expecting it to. And if you compare it with a similar output from ChatGPT, you will realize that it's using relevant chunks from the excerpt and its own knowledge base to write it in a humanized way that is not very generic as compared to a ChatGPT output. Now this prompt was entirely driven by this template that I provided. If you want, you can update the template in any way you want based on the information you are trying to extract from it. My main objective was to make sure that I get a half-page summary, because usually ChatGPT is very verbose and I want to the point, specific, concise answers so that I can read through them really fast and expand on anything that I want later. So update this template, modify it and work with it the way it works best for you. And you can always ask follow-up questions from Claude based on something specific from it, and it will do a pretty good job in understanding that. So let's say I do this, copy this line and I say, please elaborate. So now it will go back to the text that I provided and elaborate that specific section from that text in a really nice summary, much better than ChatGPT, to give me an idea what's there in the research paper.